welcome back to Tammy Talks About. This video is it's kind of serious. It's something that I'm looking into, something I'm still actually investigating, but I did manage to get some starting information. I'm not sure that I'll ever be able to find everything that I'm looking for, but I think that in showing you what I found so far, I think it answers some questions for us concerning why the ACLU so completely backs AH, what some of the things are that maybe motivates them, who maybe motivated them. And so let's just talk about this. I'm not going to advertise this video at all. I have a feeling it's liable to get took down anyway if the right people find out about it, because it was right after Tug kind of discussed some of this information that he got took down, which is a much larger channel, of course, but I'm treading in dangerous water, I have a feeling, and I'm not a lawyer at all, so I might be stepping on some toes that might bite back. So if you will, please like this video, please comment on this video, let me know what you think about the situation, share this video. I think the truth does need to get out there. Very important that the truth gets out, because we're talking about the ACLU, a nonprofit organization that is supposed to help people, and which they maybe they do help some people, but at the end of the day, I said in a video the other day, follow the money. Well, let's look at where the money takes us. If you'll remember, Tug did a video where he's been able to use some of his sources and get some of the information from some of the testimony that's already took place that isn't out yet, as far as us being able to look at all of it and everything. And in that video, it was Eric George, I believe, was who was testifying. He's a member, works for the ACLU, if I remember correctly. But those emails showed how the ACLU was definitely pushing a narrative. They didn't care that she's lying, and they didn't care that Johnny's innocent. They were looking to get the Violence Against Women's Act. They were making sure that it didn't expire. So I'm going to put it up here, some of the information I found, and it says the Violence Against Women's Act authorizes programs and funding that supports survivors of gender-based violence and aims to address institutions and laws that perpetuate domestic violence and sexual assault. Noble enough. Okay, this next that I'm putting up, I checked into how much funding is received because of the violence, or from the Violence Against Women Act. Of this amount, $101 million discretionary appropriations and $379 million is derived from the Crime Victims Fund. 30% of this goes to victim service programs. Okay. So when you go into the ACLU's website, as I've done here, as you can see, I am ACLU. And if you go into issues and you go under women's rights, of course, they do a lot for women. Let's see. They have lots of their current issues. Violence against women. What do you know? It's number 2. The ACLU strives for a world in which women and girls live free from violence by challenging discrimination against survivors of violence in housing, employment, education, and government services and benefits, and by holding governments accountable for responding to and taking proactive measures to stop the cycle of violence. Kind of sounds like the Violence Against Women's Act. I mean, they've got an entire page, Violence Against Women. What do you know? So if 30% of that funding, and well, let me back up. Let me just put this up right here. In 2020, the funding budget for the Violence Against Women Act was $492.5 million, which is a 1% increase from 2019. So if 30% of $492 million is $147,600,000. And where does that money go? It goes to places like the ACLU. This is an organization that is a nonprofit, and they're able to do the things they do through funding. And hey, you know, I'm all for funding nonprofit organizations and government agencies. That's what they do. And when they're helping other people, hey, that's wonderful. It's amazing. When you purposely push a narrative and don't care to destroy another human being's life because you want this act, which provides you funding, to not expire, I have an issue. I think we should all have an issue with that. And which, now look, this is all my own, just what I'm seeing looking at this. There is nothing that says this is why they did it. There's nowhere that that's been proven. So let me just be very clear in that. This is what I see by looking at it. Because I think with everything in this case in particular, with AH, the reason that she did all this is because of money. There's another thing with the ACLU. One of their largest donors, and I'll show this right here, is Elon Musk. And at every turn, he has been a part of this. So you've got one of their biggest donors. I mean, it'd be very, it's not hard to imagine him saying, hey, I gave you all this money. And you make sure that she wins this. You make sure that she gets what she wants. You put that op-ed out for her. So there's that. Then there's this Violence Against Women Act. So at the end of the day, the ACLU are backing AH, not because they believe she's a victim, not because they are trying to further women's rights. They're doing it because of money. They have their funding to think about. That's why they push this narrative. They were going to make Johnny be the fall guy, the face of this, for money. AH is just a pawn to the ACLU. They could care less about her. And if she believes that they do, she's isn't as crazy as we all kind of think she is. And Musk, I just don't even know what to think with him. I don't know if he truly believes her or if he's just thinking with the other head. But this is a mess, and it's horrible. But you know what? Johnny's standing up and fighting, and I believe he deserves to be applauded for that. I think we should all fight for what's right, and what ACLU, AH, Elon Musk, all of them have done to this man. They should be held accountable for it. And I hope that the courts will make them all accountable for it. I'm going to continue looking into this, and I'll let you know as I find out more. But until next time, be blessed.